My name's Jay Shooster, and before I became a Masiyiwa-Bernstein Fellow, I worked in national security and human rights and animal advocacy. Before starting law school, I had done a lot of work with animal rights organizations, in particular impact litigation. Since starting law school, I've worked in the human rights field for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, where I worked on policing policy. I worked at the Open Society Foundations, where I worked on international criminal justice. And on the national security side, I worked for the Department of Justice National Security Division in DC and at the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York in the Terrorism and International Narcotics Unit. Why did I apply to be a Masiyiwa-Bernstein Fellow? I really, after doing lots of litigation related work, I really wanted to have the opportunity to work in the more policy space and to work on general advocacy that wasn't strictly legal. And the positions that I was really excited about with Just Security, where I ended up working, and with Human Rights First, where I was also excited to work, both had a significant advocacy component and policy component that extended beyond simply just litigation. I'm passionate about a lot of areas of human rights, in particular extreme poverty and immigration, and using immigration, the intersection between the two. So using immigration advocacy to fight extreme poverty. But I'm also really passionate about the intersection between national security and human rights, and security issues raised by things like weapons of mass destruction and other major catastrophic risks, and thinking about the security, the right to security implied by those sorts of risks. And this isn't quite a human rights issue on its own, but I'm very passionate about animal rights and the intersections between and relationships between our treatment of animals and human rights issues. So I work with Just Security, which is a project of the Center for Human Rights and Global Justice at NYU Law. And we do basically legal journalism. We are a publication that tries to explore the pressing legal issues, human rights, national security issues of the day, and provide rigorous legal analysis to help the media and to be able to help the media and policymakers and academics understand what's actually going on a day-to-day basis, and to quickly explain the law and how it applies to current events. And there I've worked on a variety of issues, everything from the Muslim ban and the implications of the federal government's immigration policy to human trafficking. And I've had the opportunity to work with as an editor and a researcher for a variety of really accomplished attorneys and authors on a whole host of other national security and human rights issues. The most rewarding parts of my work are being able to write and publish on the issues that I think are most important, and to be able to work with really extraordinary people. I mean, all the time I have to pinch myself and remember when I'm in staff meetings with Philip Alston and Ryan Goodman and Meg Satterthwaite, all of these really eminent, super accomplished human rights scholars and attorneys. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's just such a privilege to work alongside such an amazing group of activists and lawyers. But then also, yeah, being able to have them help me with my work and help me develop my writing and make, the strongest possible arguments, and being able to help me be a better thinker and writer and activist has been extremely rewarding. And relatedly, being able to see the fruits of my work has been republished by Newsweek and in the Huffington Post, and it's been cited in the Washington Post, Slate, Rolling Stone, and other publications. And so being able to see my work actually make it to the mainstream media and have an influence on shaping the conversation on human rights and national security issues is just an experience that I really treasure. Something that really surprised me about this experience was just how I was treated as an equal and as a colleague by the extraordinary people that I work with. I mean, I've joked before, and it's true, that I get text messages from these elite scholars with emojis in them, and just treat it as a peer, and it's people are so warm and friendly and collegial, and I really get to feel like I'm part of the team with these really eminent scholars. So I'm going to take away tons of experience and new skills and amazing relationships away from my time here. I'm so thrilled to be able, I know that I'll be able to, call and email Meg or Ryan or Philip in the future and be able to work with them in the future, and as well as the dozens of other extraordinary attorneys that I've had the privilege of working with at Just Security. I mean, we have a vast board of experts from all around the country who are the top scholars and practitioners on a variety of human rights issues, and now I'm friendly with these people, and I'll be able to work with them in the future, and they'll know me, and I expect that we'll be able to help each other out in the future. So that I'm really excited about. And another thing that I'll take away that is so important is the knowledge that I have now, especially, one thing that I wasn't really taught in law school was how to work with the media, how to pitch an op-ed, for example. And now, having been on the editorial side and working to bring the message of lawyers to the general public through mass media, I have a much better understanding of how to get my stories or the stories of my future clients out there to the general public. So my fellowship has prepared me to engage with experts, scholars at the highest level, and attorneys at the highest level, to engage with both people who share my ideas and are working on the same side, as well as experts and lawyers who disagree with me on a lot of these issues. And so through this fellowship, I've had to be an advocate for a variety of issues, and have got the opportunity to engage in really substantive debate with the leading experts in the field on all sides of different issues. So I will definitely carry that forward into my future work. So at Just Security, I had the privilege to work on such a wide variety of issues. I mean, every day it was my job to read multiple different articles on every human rights issue under the sun. And so I really have gained a very strong, broad understanding of a wide variety of human rights issues, where I feel like even if I'm not an expert in every one of them, I have an important base level of knowledge that is strong enough where I can have a meaningful conversation with experts on a lot of these issues. 3 neglected areas of human rights that I really would like to see more focus on is, one, as I've stated before, the intersection between human rights and non-human rights, animal rights. And just because there are so many ways that our treatment of animals, while I think it's important in and of itself, and it's certainly deeply consistent with human rights values, it also has direct implications for human interest and for human rights, whether it's through environmental degradation, through animal agriculture, or even for human health. There are just so many intersections that I really hope that we could invest more time and resources in. For me and other animal advocates, there's something deeply dissatisfying about human rights that doesn't accept the importance of caring about animals. And I think human rights would really mean something, and would really mean a whole lot more than it currently does if it were to take animal rights seriously, just because of all of these deep principles that we pay lip service to, of whether it's autonomy, or that we shouldn't treat anyone differently just because they look different. I think until we apply these values to our treatment of animals, human rights will really be missing something. Beyond that, I think there are other human rights issues that I would really like to see more attention paid to, including extreme poverty, and in particular, how the role of immigration in preventing or as a tool for addressing extreme poverty. And I would really like to see more of a focus on the human right to security, and in particular as it relates to catastrophic risks like weapons of mass destruction and other emerging technologies like artificial intelligence that have the ability to compromise the security of all people in a really significant way. Future Masiyiwa-Bernstein fellows would be really wise to make the most, to really take the initiative in making the experience what they want it to be. And I found in my experience that there's so much flexibility to work on such a wide variety of things and to take advantage of so many different opportunities, but you really have to make it a goal for yourself to achieve those things. So whether that's getting coffee or lunch with any one of the dozens of extraordinary professors in the NYU community who are here, or wherever you are working, there are just so many opportunities that you have just being a Masiyiwa-Bernstein fellow and being part of this community, but that you really need to make the effort and take the initiative on your part to take advantage of that.